Alright, so I just got myself a VCAF nut 65. So I'm pretty familiar with the 65% layout. This is the exact one that I got. Yeah, I don't want my hand to move around that much, so 65 it is. The reason this thing is pretty expensive, I'm not gonna lie. But the selling point for me at least is that it have QMK. So that is what I am learning to work with. The original software that came with Aula, like that came with normal Chinese keyboard, are useful, I'm not gonna lie, but they are very limiting in what you can do. You can do a lot more with KMK, and I just found out that I actually need KMK for what I usually do with my keyboard. Okay, so this is the real-time progress of me learning how to flash and program my keyboard with QMK. Now they provide us with this thing. So like this is the FN layer. So FN plus one of the key and will result in the function over here. So we are not going to touch the FN button on this keyboard, but I will use the cap lock key as a second layer in that sort. So that is what we are trying to do today. Put over here, and yeah, let's go.
Yes, you've just finished building your custom mechanical keyboard and you're looking to program it with your own shortcuts and macros. Well, you're in luck because today I'll be giving a tutorial on VIA and to show off my personal favorite macro of all time. Let's get started. The first thing you want to do is look up VIA. Once you're on their website, you can either download the VIA app or use the web version, which is simpler and more refined. So unless you see yourself programming this keyboard all the time, I suggest using the web version. On their website, you can either download the VIA app or use the web version, which is simpler and
Okay, since I'm going to flash this keyboard all the time, I will use it. Nice. Authorizing device. Can I just download this thing? Firmware and docs, GitHub, Discord, settings. Okay, pair, nice. What are we doing now? Like, wait, I want to actually download this thing. Configure, test design. How can I download this thing? New GitHub, maybe. So going to GitHub, release, public release. Do not download firmware from here, nice. Yeah, okay. I think this is the one. Updated 5 days ago, yeah, so it is very new. User space repository. Keyboard must be merged in the KMK firmware repo before. Your key malware must be merged in the repo main branch. Okay, what are we doing here? All right, let's not get ahead of ourselves. So let's follow the tutorial first.
more refined. So unless you see yourself programming this keyboard all the time version, which is look up VIA. Once you're on their website, you can either download the VIA app or use the web version, which is simpler.
Okay, I'm doing the same thing. So it's like the N, right? Not. Okay, let's start with the K. So what is it name? KWAF. K. Oh, okay. Oh, I should not say that letter in this. Okay, this is the letter K. WCAF. I think this is WCAF, right? Okay. W. Is it W instead? A B C D E F G D E F G H I J K L M N O P Q R C V W W W W P P Q R P Q R. Okay, so let's start with the N. C D F G H I K E H I J K L M M N M N. Okay. Okay, it's not here. Okay, it's not here. What's going on? I'm digging around the net for a bit. Not this, not this. Okay, there's a instruction. This is in Vietnamese. Okay, this is about the price. So okay, yada yada. Uh-huh. Okay, so this is the JSON file right here. I don't know what this thing does. Right. Let's put them in a group. Where's the button to group tabs? Okay. Key tutorial Vietnamese. All right. So it said if I use 1.6 millimeter PCB, this is my version. Not 65 support Kim KMVR. Go to the link, and this link is also the same link that I have been logging in. In fact, I think I should just authorize over there. Okay, paired key tester. So let's test all my keys. It doesn't have the tilde yet. No problem. I don't have the right to win. This is just the FN arrow keys. Insert, delete, page up, page down. Okay, I think that's all the keys I have. So this is what layout I'm working with. I believe if I want the tilde, I need to hold FN and escape. No? Okay, this is how I press the F rows. Okay. I forgot how to type the tilde. I think I have that button anyway. Just forgot. Maybe tap. Yep, tap. So press Fn and tap to get the tilde. Okay, everything is working fine. Let's go back to the tutorial. Okay, I should put this thing in much larger font. Sorry about that. It looks fine on my screen, but I that's why I need the OBS preview. Okay, proprietary settings, show tabs design. Okay, go to settings, show design tab. And then go to the design tab, press load, and load the previous JSON file. Okay, so I need to download the JSON file. All right, the JSON file has been downloaded. Okay, let's go to load the file. Where's the design tab? Okay, okay, the design tab is over here. I need to make it big. Way. Okay. I think you can still see it, right? Let's just make it bigger. Design tab. Intended for development purpose. If your keyboard not recognized automatically by VIA, please contact. Okay. Now I need to load. Okay, I think it has been loaded. Right? Let's do it again. Okay, so I have to do this. Okay, 1 second. Okay, so I will choose here to open the JSON file that I have downloaded. Okay, it should have prompted me. 1 second. Yeah, okay, you see here, it prompted me that it wants to connect to my HID device. So I click on it first, hit connect. Okay, next step. Okay, loading X. Supposed to see the simulated keyboard for me to reconfigure. Okay, I think we're having a problem, right? That is correct. Show matrix. Oh, okay, this is the matrix. Okay, was it not working? Nothing happened. Yeah, nothing happened at all. Get back to the YouTube tutorial.
That if you take a moment just to follow all these steps and not skip around.
Okay, I think I got the wrong video.
And more refined. So unless you see yourself programming this keyboard all the time, and it'll bring you to a new tab where all the programming
What the hell?
bottom left corner under simple, press start now and it'll bring you to a new tab where all the programming happens. Before you move on, make sure the keyboard on your screen has the exact same layout as the keyboard plugged into your computer. If it doesn't, go down to the layout icon and play around with it. Maybe you have a split spacebar or an ISO keyboard, or maybe you have a completely unique bottom row. You'll find one that matches.
Okay, so it should have loaded like that. But for some reason mine doesn't have all the tabs over here. So there must be something wrong. All right. So this is the first roadblock that I will have. Hmm.
After all of that is done,
Okay, you see the problem that is in the keyboard thingy configure tab, but there's nothing here for me.
if you like, you can customize the interface a little bit by going to the Settings tab. I like mine to be in blue and 3D. The next thing you should do before customizing any keyboard is to check if all the keys on your keyboard are working. And you can do that here on the Key Tester tab. Keep in mind that on this tab, the keyboard on the screen.
All right, doesn't work for some reason.
Doesn't have to match the keyboard you have. Now back to the Configure tab, on the top left corner you'll see an option to jump between different layers. This is a pretty common feature on
All right, I think we're having a situation right now, and we need to address it before moving on. Okay. Okay, I need to load it successfully and move to the configure tab. So let's try that again. I will try to reload the page. Okay, let's just turn off the tab. Maybe I need to use the newer version. So let's go to VIA. Maybe the VIA app to have the latest version instead. Maybe the version they have on the page was obsolete. No, apparently that is not a problem. Yeah. Now it's working. Okay, now we're cooking, boys. Nice. The website scaled nicely. Okay, so don't use the one they provide in the link. Just Google VIA and get into the first result. I should show you what it looks like. VIA. So just Google VIA, and this is what I chose. So not difficult at all. I do need to load the JSON file, and this is what I got. Nice. Yeah, let's get back to the tutorial.
the keyboard on the screen doesn't have a tab. I like mine to be in blue and 3D. The next thing you should do before customizing any keyboard is to check if all the keys on your keyboard are working. And you can do that here on the keyboard different layers. This is a pretty common feature on most PCBs, and it comes in handy when you need to fit in more keys for macros. On the bottom under Basic, you'll see a list of letters and numbers, and you can assign them to any key on your keyboard. Just select the key you wish to customize, and then select the function by which you want it to be replaced. It's pretty simple. Moving down the bar, there's lighting to control the RGB on your PCB if it has any, and media for quick commands like volume or play pause. Chances are, whatever keyboard you're using, you probably don't have enough blank keys to assign these media and lighting functions to. So that's where the layers comes in handy. To switch between layers on your keyboard, you need one of these. They all have different features, but don't be overwhelmed. If you hover above them, you'll see a short description about it. I personally use the MO parentheses 1 the most. That means my secondary layer will only be activated when I hold down on that button that is assigned to be MO parentheses 1. On the topic of layers, the secondary layer is also where people usually program their macro for commands, shortcuts, and even passwords. A macro, for those who don't know, is a sequence of keys that are recorded and then played back by a single keystroke. I have one that I found especially helpful, and I'll get to it in a bit. So to program your own macro, first go to the macro tab. You'll see two ways to do this, and you can either record a keystroke or type it in yourself. Keep in mind, if you do decide to type it in yourself, you aren't typing in the keys directly, rather you're typing in the key codes, which you can refer to from this link down here. To record the macro, which is the easier way, simply press all the keys you wish to activate with a single press of a button. This can be zoom in, zoom out, or even screenshot. Just any commands you wish to activate with a single keystroke, which would normally take multiple. Once you've done that, go to your secondary layer and assign it to any key you want. But keep in mind, it only activates with a single keystroke. Simply press all the keys you wish to activate with a single press of a button. This can be zoom in, zoom out, or even screenshot. Just any commands you wish to activate with a single keystroke, which would normally take multiple. Once you've done that, go to your secondary layer and assign it to any key you want. But keep in mind, it only activates when your keyboard is on that layer. Alright, so that was the basics of VIA. Now let me show you my personal favorite macro of all time and my RGB keybinds. Again, the first thing I did was set up the key that would activate my secondary layer, which is always the bottom left key on any of my keyboards. Once that's done, I went to my secondary layout and try to fit in as many functions as I can. I typically try to only use the number row, but I do like using the arrow keys for RGB control. Arrow up and down for saturation, and left and right for hue. Now to my favorite macro of all time. Basically, as a Mac user, I love switching between desktops all the time, and unless I have a trackpad, it's pretty annoying to do. What this macro allows me to do is switch between desktops single-handedly while dragging tabs with my other hand on the mouse. To do this, I went back to the macro tab, pressed record, and tapped on the right control once and left arrow once. Then I would save it and repeat 3 more times for the rest of the arrows. Then I applied the corresponding macros to the WASD keys. Once all of that is done, you should be able to switch between desktops by first clicking the switch layer button and then the A or D key. Alright, so this is the end of the video. I hope you learned something. If you did, please like and subscribe. Until then, I'll see you in the next video.
Alright, simple enough. Definitely a thumbs up for this guy. Wonderful tutorial. So let's give it a try ourselves, right? What is this? Wait. Oh, nice. I can. Mouse mode switch. Display test while latency. Okay. There's a lot. So like Korean, Japanese. I have no idea, but some sort of Chinese or Cantonese here. Yeah, probably that. Mouse wheel. Nice. This is very nice. So let's go to layers. MO1, right? How do I do? Oh no. Okay. How do I disable this? This is not a button, right? What the heck did I just? Okay. Can I just make it blank again? Okay, this is not the button I want to do. So I want to go to layers, MO2. Okay, wonderful. MO2. That will be the MO2 button for layer 0. When I go into layer, wait, does it mean? Oh, okay. So because this is MO1, the layer that the manufacturer of the NUT65 already gave me, layer 1 already have all the functionality that I seen over here. RGB mode, hue plus, all the thing like that. Battery status, clear EEPROM. Nice. So this is basically the reset the EEPROM of the keyboard, Bluetooth, receiver, and USB wire. Latency mode. Oh, okay. What does it do? NKR0. What the heck? System mode. So Windows and other stuff. Very nice to work with. Custom music mode. What the heck is music? Oh, okay. The music mode control the LED in bar over here. Okay, let's go to MO2. This is my layer. And can I select all the keys? I cannot select all the keys. I cannot drag all the keys. So let's just do it by hand. So this is the MO2. I want to make this thing the arrow key. So like Vim motion. So let's go to the basic. Where's my arrow key? So this is left, down, up, and right. Okay. Yeah. I prefer. Okay. And in MO2, cap locks doesn't exist. What do we do to other button? Triangle. I don't know what does that mean. Okay. I want to do that. I don't have anything to control the volume of my system. Yep, nothing at all. Okay, so in this layer, let's see. I want to make my volume control easy to work with. Should I do this? So I want to use this thing as up and down, but I don't want to make it confusing with the left and right over here. And also, I want to make it one hand, make it a one hand operation. So I use the left hand, so like R and V. R and V's. R and F maybe. Media, right? Mute, play, media, stop. Next, rewind, fast forward, select, check. So let's go. Let's just go for this for ease of for it to make sense first. Oh, I will have L3 over here. Go to next and previous. So this 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 should allow me to control YouTube music even when I am in a different application or a different tab, right? Do I need the mute button? Nah, I think I'm good. I think I want to map this button to my macros. Or should I use a button over here? I do have a lot of password that I want to store on this thing. So let's try something else. What does the button do? Sleep makes sense. But mm, let's go for, yeah, I feel like I'm wasting time. I'm wasting your time here, but I'm really having decision fatigue right now. Mm, let's go for this button, sleep. S makes sense, right? I don't know what to do with the screen plus and screen minus. Does it really adjust the brightness of the monitor? I don't think it can control that, right? Hmm. Start, forward, back, mouse, 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 mouse. Okay, I actually can control the mouse, which gave me an idea. Hmm. Let's see, how can I use the WASD in this? This is basically mouse key. This is basically mouse key for me. So can I just HKL, and if I shift left is okay. I don't want to confuse myself here. Let's not confuse ourselves at the moment. Let's give it something I want to test, right? This is layer 2, so this is screen plus, this is screen minus, this is I got that. No. Okay, this button to open the calculator, this makes sense. Um, okay, let's go for that. And for this layer, I will just shift it up for the left, down, up, and right. So that's, in that sense, I can still keep some sort of my muscle memory. Okay, I think that could work. For the layer lighting, I don't feel like there is anything I need to do. Oh, they got the media that I wanted, so maybe this thing can be mute. Right, let's go for macro. I want to have my own macro, but macros, okay. So can only be what? So like I have to press F11 or something like that. Seriously? Full screen, okay. I'll record my keystroke. This is manual. Okay, this is recording. Skip, smart, record delays. Let's go. This is a very important password. And then I press tab to go to the next line. This fuck. Can I? Okay. No, I don't want to do that. Undo change. Okay, let's do that again. This is a very important username. Tab. And this is a secure password. Enter. This feels like shit, but okay, I'm gonna stop the recording, right? And I will assign it to maybe number 1. Okay, got what we wanted. Save changes, right? Is it saving? Oh, okay, this is the space use. Go back to this one, go to macro. This is M0. It doesn't have the name of everything inside. Okay, it actually did have that. Nice. Let's do another one. Macro. Down here. Okay. Can I record keystroke? Let's say I want to like nest all the code in Visual Studio Code, right? Control K, Control 0. Okay, then it doesn't work like that. Is it? No, Control K, 0. Yeah, it did work like that. Stop, save. Fuck, I just over. Okay, no worries. I just override my macro 0. Okay, this is for control K, control J. Release. Nice. Save it. M3. Let's do the password again. User name, tab, password. Enter. And save. All right, let's go back to the key mapping. Macro M0 got M1 and M2. Nice. Special. What is special? Okay, we have the programmer super important function. Music toggle, mouse button. Okay. I don't know if I have N key roll over yet. Try that later. Okay, what do I do next? Save and load. Okay, save current layout. Nice, I can save it. Let's save it in keyboard. Okay, save into a separate JSON files so we can load the JSON back here again. So I save. Okay. Fancy. It doesn't have all the lighting mode, right? Oh, it actually have all of it. Very nice. Okay, but I'm not doing that here. Okay, how do I flash this thing? So, is it supposed to start working immediately according to that one comment? Once you change the key mapping in the configure tab, supposed to immediately update and start working. Okay, so let me go back to this. So if I press cap locks and number 3, the caps lock button. Number 3, it should input a password. Wonderful. Okay, by pressing tab, it nests in the level. So if I press it again, it will nest inside this thing. Perfect. This is much better than the macro on the Aula. For some reason, macro on the Aula keyboard miss the keys sometimes, and it is very clunky to program. You can do it, of course, but it's gonna take you a bit of patience and your sanity along the way. This is nice. So I'm gonna nest all of them. Okay, this is not what I want. What am I doing? Okay, not this one. Okay, that is not what I'm trying to do. I think I should change the macro a bit. M0, so let's discard it and record another one. So Control K, Control 0, start recording. For this one is Control K, Control J. What the heck? Okay. Control K, Control J. Stop recording. Save my configuration. Override. And let's test it back into Logic. Again. I believe I shouldn't use this thing in this. Let me put on some of my code. Yeah, because I forgot that yeah, it is supposed to work inside a coding environment like this one. So start with the nesting. Hello. Is it because the format is wrong? Huh. Let's do it by hand. Okay. Okay, by hand actually still work perfectly fine. I didn't even need to remove. Okay, maybe I can try with the delay this time. Macros, full screen, and wait, what? Nothing. What the heck? I think no. Okay. Record. Okay. Let's try again. Now it's working. So I do need to separate them. Wait, why didn't it work the first time? 1 second. Discard this thing. Chord. K0. Is it too fast? Save the changes. KJ. Do that again. No, it still worked perfectly fine. I just forgot. I just forgot to save the changes. I'm a moron. Dang it. Yep, I forgot to. KJ. Save. And now this thing works perfectly. 2. I mean, this is not that big of a deal for this kind of shortcut. Like it's just 2 buttons. But when I'm working with stuff like OBS Studio, some sort of obscure shortcut on the keyboard, this thing can really come in handy. And I believe that is about it for this section. I will then show you the, you know what, yeah, I think this is enough for the video. You already see a lot of the you'll see how I got to work with this thing. This is definitely much more delightful to work with compared to the proprietary software that the Chinese maker provide. I have no idea why most keyboard maker, this is the WeCap Nut 65 is also made by Chinese OEM, but I don't understand how adding open source hardware can be this expensive. Like this is open source supported, right? This is not proprietary. Any keyboard can work with it. This is not some kind of HDMI convention that people need to pay money to use. No, it is a very nicely done. You can just access it online like this one. All right, so now I'm gonna show you the keyboard and the type testing. I'm not gonna try to record the sound because the acoustic of my room is not the best, but I will try to show you how I type on Monkey Type. All right, so and because I have to carry my keyboard around all the time, I don't want the keyboard being pressed down all the time and just accidentally activate the LED every single time I have it pressed down inside my backpack. All right, so it's not fun. It's not that fun to get the battery drained all the time in the backpack. So I made this thing. I'm gonna show you the 3 files right now. Okay, so this thing is made according to the profile of the keyboard. This is the right hand side, and you can see how it kind of fits into that. Yeah, so slide it in. The right side is a bit it's a lot more easy to slide in. There is some interference with the number row, but I can live with that. The right hand side have a bit more clearance, so that is what is easier to go in. And basically this is just a first version. So the idea is that those two parts lock together, but it feels a bit redundant because the main reason they don't slide around is because of the profile in here. The profile is what secure the casing and prevent the button from being pressed. So let me give you another angle. Okay, I'm gonna have to change angle. Okay, so we got that thing down, so that is how it's slab. So even if we want to go down, it cannot, because yeah, the profile prevent this 3mm part of plastic from pressing down on the keyboard. So it also prevents the keycaps and the housing from being scratched by other things inside the keyboard, such as the keychains, utility blade, stuff like that. So really solid construction. I do consider painting it, but because this is just a prototype, first version even, and I actually made a mistake of trying out my marker on one of the side. As you can see, why is it not going in? Okay. Okay, there's some interference going on. Yeah, so it's supposed to go in like that. The red red part is just simply because I ran out of white filament. You kind of make it a nice accent color, not gonna lie, but yeah. So you can see how this is 1.5 kilogram, and this thing holds it no problem due to the friction. I wouldn't worry that much about the patchy plastic scratching the anodized aluminum, because this thing, anodized aluminum, is surprisingly hard in that sense. Oh, I sorry, I opened the wrong version over here. Maybe this one. Yeah, this is the one. Right, so it's made of 2 parts, and from this point of view you can actually see that the left half is the inside one, so it has a lot less clearance, and I don't like that. Even though I have gave it like 0.5 millimeter of clearance, turns out material shrinkage and inaccuracy in measurement can cause those kind of things. So yeah, that is how it works for me. Okay, what's this else? And yeah, that's it. This is not really a good keyboard review channel, just a personal journey log and that kind of stuff. I'm recording this on my phone. This is the update for this version of the carry case. So this is the first version that have none of the locking mechanism. It only has some kind of female and male slot that doesn't really do anything. This part is too tight, this part is too loose, and yeah, that's mainly the problem. So that's why I make this little baby. You see on the top there are instructions. I don't think I'm going to paint this one since they're only 0.2 millimeter deboss. Yeah, emboss or deboss, like deep inside, so nothing is protruding outward. And made some chamfer on the outer edge so that it's not sharp on the touch at all. Nothing is moving, and everything is held together by this compliant latch. You can see there are 2 ways, so easily put in and out. Patchy works wonderful for this kind of latch, and this is how I work with it. Not a very smooth one, not a very smooth experience, since I don't have any felt pad inside. But the right hand side has these little compliant clip that's symmetric to each other, and this part is actually super glue inside. I don't feel like that's a bad idea, but I'm fixing it later. Quickly, I recognize the problem of the old version. This version is a bit too short, by the way, because of some measurement error I made. But this thing doesn't have any groove to help me guide into the slot, so I have to perfectly line all the 3 prongs together, and it can be a pain in the butt because there is no guiding feature. With this one, you see there are the chamfer on the female slot, so even without the keyboard to assist me, I can easily. That's a bit too easy on one side. All 3 have to go together, and just snap it together, and it doesn't want to come apart in the backpack at least. So you're not gonna hold this one and fling it around. No, the compliant latch, 3 of them are pretty sufficient. But that's how it works. The keyboard, it is made exactly have the same profile as the loose version. There's even some kind of chamfer on the side to help me guide the keyboard in a little bit more easy. And the right hand side is a bit tough. Let's see, because of the keyboard profile, everything is guided in like that. So that is the final update for the Nut 65 keyboard.